working? There we go.
Perfect. Hey, we're good. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I can't complain. Happy to be here today. So glad you took the time to speak with us and just excited to hear what you got going for us.
Oh, no, I am super excited. Thank you so much for bringing me in. Thank you so much for the responsibility to be the first person speaking, I guess. Thank you for that.
Because, man, we knew you were going to bring the energy. Your energy's already radiating right now. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take over. I see you have a wonderful presentation. So everybody get ready.
Awesome.
All right. I'm going to go ahead.
Just waiting to make sure that the screen is, that you guys can see my presentation. Can I get a confirmation on that? Please. Confirmation that you guys can see my presentation. Just give me 1 second, guys. Waiting to make sure that it is shared. There we go. Awesome, guys. Well, welcome. I hope all of you guys have your cafecito next to you, hopefully Colombian, because you know that's the best one. For all of you guys that do not know me, my name is Laura Silva. I am VP, Accessibility Technology UX Design Lead at Bank of America right now. I live in Dallas, Texas. I used to live in Seattle, Washington, but I need the heat. Although it's very cold right now, I don't like it. I do not like it. As my presentation says, I am an award-winning designer. I've won the 2019 Inclusive Amazonian Award at Amazon, and this year I am the Diversity and Inclusion 2020 Award winner at Bank of America. So I'm really excited about that. It's a lot of long nights, very long nights. I'm an intersectionality advocate, and I am a Girls Who Code and a Savannah College of Art and Design alumni mentor. So, but besides that, what are we here? What are we here to speak about, right? We are here to speak about the power of who we are and why does that matter in tech. So a little bit extra about me. I am Colombian. I'm from Bogota, Colombia. I am Afro-Latina, mixed. I am an immigrant from Colombia, of course. I'm a cisgender woman. I'm a DACA recipient, so I'm a dreamer, and I am a storyteller. And I want you guys to think about, if you got a pen and pencil, write down what it is that make you who you are, because that's going to be the theme of my conversation today. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my story and how I got to the point of where I am right now, and perhaps maybe give you guys some pointers of how you guys can achieve a shift or change, pivot, or a glow up in your career, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to be. And I started as a writer. My career started in Savannah College of Art with a writing degree. So that's the one that my mom has in her house. And I want to make sure that you guys know that to be in tech, you don't need to study tech. You don't need to be precisely in STEM, because tech has to do with absolutely everything that we do with every single day. So I went from paragraphs to artboards because careers are not linear. As the presenter said, I started as a blogger intern for Good of All, and as a content writer for Dealer Socket in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, as a PR and marketing curator for Innovation First International in Greenville, Texas. Then I went and I did a jump to UX design intern for Amazon in Seattle, Washington. And I was hired then to be a UX designer for the company, and right now an accessibility UX lead for Bank of America. Now, I currently work in accessibility, and accessibility is everyone who is using a product or a service receiving the same benefits or the same happiness, regardless of their abilities and their circumstances. And now let's go into some key points. What have I learned from my diverse resume? The first thing that I have learned from being in so many spaces is that every successful business tells a story. Not literally a written story, but it allows whatever business is successful will allow a user or a viewer or a reader to navigate their experience and get bliss, get happiness from it. So when you're thinking about creating your LLCs, which I hope everybody's taking advantage of them tax breaks, or when you're thinking about creating your social media platform or your company or your pitch or your resume or your portfolio, think about what is the story that you're trying to tell about yourself. What I committed to telling people about myself is that I care about people. Because of all those characteristics that make me who I am, I've had the opportunity to have very diverse perspectives into the business space and also into what creates society and the elements that hold us together. And I, of course, realized that a lot of people who are the customers look like me or sound like me or have a similar background or do not come from wealthy families or not even from the United States. So I want to make sure that everyone that interacts with me in my space of line of business understand that I am not creating designs for, the average white American household, like 2 kids and a dog. That's not who I design for. I design for the mom that has to make sure that she makes ends meet, like I had to, like my parents had to. I designed for someone who might not be able to hold a pen or might be able to see what is in a tablet. I design for the people, and the majority of the people are, on a budget or thinking about what they're going to do with the future or scared about what's going to happen next. And those are the customers that I care about the most. Then the second bullet point is that there is a need for every service and every experience. Now, when I went to work at Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which if you know where that is on the map, kudos to you, because I had no idea where I was. I was working in a company that created websites for dealerships. I mean, what? I had no idea that existed, but it's a service that was needed, and it's actually a very successful company. It's called Dealer Socket, and it's one of the major companies for other dealerships to create their websites through that company. And then when I worked at Greenville, Texas, in Innovation First International, I worked in a company that created robotic toys, like little bath toys for the kids to take a bath, and little educational toys for middle schools to learn how to start creating robots. I had no idea that existed either, but it is a very successful company, and they actually have products everywhere in the world. They're one of the top in sales for robots, and they are here in Dallas in the Perot Museum for kids to play around with their toys. And I had absolutely no idea that a company existed, but it's a service that is needed. So what does that mean? It means that no matter what it is that you want to do, there is going to be someone out there who's going to listen to it, who's going to use it, who's going to buy it, who's going to gift it. There is someone out there who's going to want to put their time and their wallet into your experience and your service. So do not think that you have to be the fanciest or the most unique or the most, needed, whatever that even means. Just go at it and throw away to the world whatever, experience you want to create, because there is going to be someone who wants to do it. And the majority of the companies that I have worked, of course, before Amazon and Bank of America, have started as an extremely, extremely small business and grown in the matter of years into very successful companies. So, go at it. The other part that I have learned is that it's not about the where, but about the how. So I would really want to know who are the people out here who have ever heard about, a dealer socket, or have ever heard about Innovation First International, because I don't think there are that many. And that means that what you do and the power of the passion that you put into it, your love for the work, matters more than the name or the statue of the company that you work in. Because I think everybody out here does not really want to work for 40, 50 years in the same company. So what matters is how much passion, how much effort, how many solutions you can bring into a company, whatever that might be, and put that in your resume. It really doesn't matter where you do it. I mean, just go ahead and do it. And one of the biggest things that I have learned, that this is something that I tell my cousins who are young ladies who are about to graduate from college, is that learning what you don't like to do is the real goal. And what does that even mean, Laura? Well, that means that I do not like to blog, because I worked at blogging and now I know I don't like it. I do not like to do PR and marketing, because I work in a PR, I work as, doing PR and marketing content, and I don't like it. And I think that is the most powerful thing, is to know what to say no to, because then you give the ability to push things to the side and have, decode this tangle web of what your career might be. If you say, okay, you know what, all this job that has to do about blogging on personal experience do not interest me, so leave it aside. Or all these job that has to do with content creator, I don't want them, so let's put them to the other side. And then that gives space to new opportunities, new careers to come my way. And actually, it ended up working for me, because I'm extremely happy doing what I do for people with disabilities and pretty much the general public. Now, as you guys can see, I have done way too many things, and I'm young. I'm 27. So there is a little bit of ruling that I have to live my life so that I can, keep on going forward and make sure that I don't deviate for the goal, which I, to be honest, don't know what I'll be in 10 years. But the goal is just to keep living it up, right? And so these are the rules that I go by. The first one is probably the most important rule that I can share with you guys today, is that please don't tell yourself no before they do. There have been so many times where I have shared, opportunities for jobs to my friends, because that's the goal, right? You're supposed to plug in your friends, and immediately they go, I'm not what they're looking for, or I'm not qualified, or I don't have all the expertise, so I'm not. No, that's not it, guys. Do not tell yourself no before they do. You really do not know exactly what a company wants until they meet you. And the majority of time, you are overly qualified for the position. And what that means is, like, yes, someone might have the years of experience, but they don't have your passion. They don't have your perspective. They don't have your culture. They don't have your optimism. They don't have your ability to look at a experience and say, we need to twitch something here. We need to fix something here. That is what companies want. But they're not going to know that they want it until they meet you. And they're not going to meet you if the first thing that you say yourself is no. I went from writing to VP at a bank because I do not allow myself to tell myself no. That is the number one rule. And so the next time that you guys see a posting in LinkedIn or whatever it is that you find your jobs, or whatever the next time a friend of you shares a job position, please apply. Just jump, just go for it. Please. Like, you don't know what it is that they want until they meet you. And the majority of times, they don't know what they want either. And so the second point that I live by is there is not such thing as oversharing. And hold on. I know everybody's like, I don't need people in my business. Well, I don't need people in my business either. But the key is for companies and HRs and senior managers and hiring managers to understand a little bit more about who you are. And that's why at the beginning of my presentation, I wanted you guys to understand the elements that make me, right? The fact that I am an immigrant, the fact that I am a DACA recipient, the fact that I identify as cisgender, the fact that English is obviously not my first language. Those are the elements that make me, and I want companies to know what they're getting when they're hiring me, because that's what I'm going to bring into the company. That's what I'm going to bring into every single meeting. And so if you are this polished person, right? This person who doesn't have any background, who doesn't have any different characteristics, who just X, Y, and Z, what is the flavor, right? That's the whole point. You want to make sure that companies know what they're getting when they're hiring you. So oversharing sometimes is actually a very, very tasteful skill. And to develop it, I recommend you guys to apply to companies or to positions that you might not be 100% interested in, but that way it gives you the ability to practice your skills in interviewing and practice the ability to share things about yourself so that you could, master the art of oversharing without really, putting people in your business. And the last one, and I hope you guys are writing this one down, is that you belong, so that you better act like it. As you guys can see, I am a Black woman. I am an Afro-Latina. Most of the time, 99% of the time, I am the only Black person, the only Black woman, and the only Latina woman in the meeting that I have, in the conference that I speak in the places that I go. And that can take a toll in one's soul. And I know that. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I know that. I understand. But nevertheless, I belong in those spaces. You belong in those spaces. If you are there, it's for a reason. It's not by mistake. It's not by chance. And it's definitely not by luck. You have worked to be in that position. You have worked to be in that platform. You have worked to lead that meeting. And if you tell yourself that you belong, then you better act like it. You better speak loud. You better not be afraid or ashamed of your accent. You better make sure that they know who you are and the energy that you bring because of the persona that you are. So, don't feel like you couldn't be something because there's no one else that look like you who's done it. Sometimes it takes one person, and the majority of time, it's going to be you. It's going to be me the majority of time. And I want to conclude, my speaking segment by giving you guys the quote that I have put in the top of my bed when I lived in my parents' house in Sunrise, Florida, jump. And because you learn to fly as you fall. Is sometimes it just takes courage to go for it. Sometimes it takes the courage to speak live. Sometimes it takes courage to, just go, because you never know what's going to happen. And if you don't know how to deal with something, if you don't know what the procedures are, what the tools are, you learn them on the job. Yes, it might take you a little time. It might hurt you. It might make you super tired. It might take away your weekends. But at the end of the day, you learn how to fly, and that's the goal, right? I want every one of you to believe in yourself. I want every one of you to know that there are people around you guys that are sharing and cheering for you guys. And I am one of them, because I've been in your space and I'll be in your space eventually. So thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for waking up early, depending on where you are in the United States. And hopefully you guys have some questions, because we are in the Q&A part of the conversation. If you guys want to get in touch with me, my Instagram handle is Lau Silva H, and my LinkedIn is Laura Silva H, and everywhere I go is Lau Silva H. I made it easy for you guys, and I think we have some questions, and I'm waiting for you guys to send me your questions. So what do you guys want to know?
First off, thank you so much for your presentation. I'm going to be going ahead and facilitating the questions for you through the chat. I got you. And I loved your entire presentation, and I feel like it definitely just let people know that if anyone's going to tell you no, you don't be the one to tell yourself no.
Please don't.
Continue to take opportunities, continue to say yes, even if you know you don't got them prerequisites. Go ahead and dive into that situation. Take some long nights. Take some long.
What's the worst thing that might happen? They say no. Okay, you just go to the next one.
And that's it. And you got to develop that mentality. That's the only way that you get to where you are today. So I'm going to get these questions going, but just want to let you know that I was listening to you loud and clear, and I definitely appreciate that. Now, the first question is, how did you adapt your resume to be more tech focused to get to your first user experience role?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Well, yes, I started as a writing major, but I did had a minor in service design, and service design is the ability to look at a service or experience and see what's wrong with it. So it could have been, the project that I had was going to a coffee shop and making sure that the space was better, so very architectural. And the other project that I had was creating an app for a girls and boys club in Savannah, Georgia. So it was very diverse, and that gave me the idea of how companies in tech work. But the thing is, every time that I had a job, yes, at the beginning had to do with content creator, but it was within tech. It was in a company that created websites. It was within a robotic company. So I tried to make sure that I could, put my toe into technology as I was going in, to make sure that people knew that, okay, maybe I am not the best one at visual design, but I know how to work in meetings with developers and designers and content writers and UX. But let's say you guys don't have that, right? Let's say you've done architecture, or I don't know, ceramics, something else, whatever it is. Well, you understand users, you understand needs, you understand data, you understand communication skills, and all of that is needed, because UX design, yes, it has to do with knowing how to do Sketch and knowing how to use InVision or whatever, but those are tools, and tools you can learn them. What people want is skills, and the skills is, do you know how to communicate? Do you know how to understand your users? Do you know how to look at a problem and give step-by-step solutions? Can you understand the environment that you reside so that you can then pivot into something more, something bigger, something more grandiose? So whatever space you work in, look at the people, look at the experience, look at the problems, and make sure that your resume showcase the fact that you can understand those spaces in tech, because that's what companies want. When I started tech, I I had no idea how to design nothing, not a damn thing. But I understood customers, and I understood problems, and I had a very keen attention to detail, and that's what people want when it comes to UX design.
Where did you like gain that insight to understand? Like sometimes people just look at a position like, okay, it's user experience. I don't know anything about tech. I'm gonna just like go to the left. I'm gonna run away. Where did you gain that insight to just look between the lines and understand they just want you to have these skills that I may not directly have?
The old-fashioned way of reading articles. So that's what I did. So Medium is free 99.
Yes.
It gives you so many keys on how, like, if you look on Medium, UX design, how to be a UX designer, they're not going to talk to you about the tools that you're going to need. They're going to talk to you about how to look for problems, what are users, how to understand the elements that create users, the problems. And yes, they might touch on, color theory and stuff like that. But the big article, the one that really matters, the one that's going to pop up first because of algorithms, are going to be the ones that are going to talk to you about the type of person that is a UX designer, not the type of tools that create a UX designer. So read. Read.
Thank you. Read. Go to Medium. Medium is free 99, like she said. Free 50, whatever you want to say, is free. All right. So we're gonna go to the next question. This is okay. Did you bring any skills? You kind of answered this in the first question, but did you bring any skills from the jobs you didn't like where you are now?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
A good question. Did I bring any skills from the job that I didn't like? Yeah, well, the fact that I worked in content creator and PR and marketing allowed me to really learn how to sell. And in the job that I'm in, because it's accessibility and it's something that a lot of teams and the majority of the industry does not know that it needs, or sees it as an add-on or something extra when it's actually something that is core.
Yes.
I learned how to sell. I learned how to sell pitch. I learned how to make sure that people understood why they need something.
Yeah.
And I think, and that is kind of like the job of a manager, of a program manager, a project manager, is to make sure that the people who are involved in your project, the developers, the other UX, the QA people, they understand why they need something that you are offering. And that was pretty much the biggest thing. I could be very persuasive, and I've learned to, make sure that there was consensus, and that they understood why they want something and why they need something in their experience, and that something is accessibility. So it has the fact that I was in PR, and the fact that I was in marketing, and the fact that I learned how to do content, to bring people into platforms that really allow me to learn how to sell what we're putting up to other teams in the company. So that's a good question.
That's a great question. I mean, it just shows that everything intersects. So no matter where you guys are, even if you don't like the position you're in, you're working at McDonald's, whatever the case may be, even that intersects. So enjoy every life experience and understand it's all going to come together for the better making of yourself.
100%. Before I started, as a blogger, I worked in Panera. I worked at Outback. I worked as a hostess, as a server, and you learn people. You learn different cultures. You learn different ages. You learn what people understand even in the interaction with the technology in in the service industry. And so even if you're not in tech and you right now working in the service industry, do not think that you don't know what you need to be a UX designer, because that's exactly what you need. You need to understand people. You need to know how to fake that little customer service smile and make sure that people feel good in your experience, because that's exactly what you're gonna put in. So you know how they say, every publicity is good publicity. Well, every experience is good experience.
Y'all better write that down. I hope we got. We're gonna play that for the promo for Thanksgiving too. All right, part 2.
Charge you for it though. I don't know. It's copyrighted, right?
Charging for it a little bit can't be free. We're a nonprofit. No, I'm playing.
Just kidding.
All love. Okay, so part 2 to that question was describe the moment when you knew user experience was the right role for you.
So I think it's not a specific moment, but it's like a curation of different times. I had a lot of frustration because at the beginning of my story here in the United States, I did not speak English. I came here, knowing zero. I knew how to say, my name is, pretty much, that's it. So a lot of technology didn't have the ability to be translated into Spanish. It didn't have the button that translate, and that was frustrating. I come from a family that has some physical and cognitive disabilities, and a lot of technology is too complicated, written at a level that is not really easy to understand. It's not designed to be user-friendly, and so that's frustrating. A lot of technology is too expensive for the average, Joe to purchase, because, Alexa works for people who are blind, but also people who are blind don't have $50 to spend on Alexa, or might not have Wi-Fi in their home, and that was upsetting. I think I use all my frustrations of being a woman and the fact that the majority of personas and the things that I saw in websites were men, white men, and I didn't identify myself. I saw the fact that a lot of personas didn't have in consideration the fact that a lot of people don't live in places where there is a Whole Food, or don't live in places where, there's 2 parents, and the technologies can cater into these perfect, 6-figure people living 3 kids and a dog. That's not the average folk. That's not the average family. And it really frustrated me, the fact that I didn't see myself and my family and my friends' family and the people that I care about and the people who make up the elements of the society that we live in included into that technology. And so I make sure that, when I started my career as a UXer, I wanted to make sure that people understood that that was not the norm, and that there were more of us than there are of them. So what are we designing everything for them? It's important that there is diversity, and that was it. I wanted to use that frustration and put it into something, and I put it into Amazon first, and then here back to America.
Yo, I love that. Goosebumps all the way through. I just feel like people look to okay, what am I supposed to do with my career? What am I supposed to do with my life? And they look too far out or try to make it too big of a thing. It's like, look at what you feel is frustrating you. Look at what you feel is needed in society. A lot of these big corporations, as I said in your intro, a lot of these big corporations, they don't understand. They just make things, and they make it for the people that are surrounding them. So your job is literally to be a teacher, even if you're not an actual teacher for college or for high school, whatever the case may be. Educate people on how they can make society better for all of us.
But frustrate the next person too.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. There's more of us than there of them. And so if there is something that you need, if there is something that your moms need, there's something that your siblings need, then it's gonna be a million people just like them who's also gonna need it. And so right there, you have someone. That's what I said in my presentation. There is someone who's going to need your service and your experience, because if you want it, somebody else is going to need it. We're not that authentic, okay? We're not that unique. We have series of wants and needs and passions and frustrations that make us, that's why you vibe so good with your friends, because you have the same perspective. That's why you go to these churches, because everybody has the same beliefs. That's why you want to go to this certain university, because there is something that unites us. So think about what is it that you would like to have, and you have a service right there, because there is someone else who also want to have it.
Simple. And that we just made y'all $1 million, hopefully.
Make sure you hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
Make sure you guys hit her up, man. No, we're not giving no free consultations. Next question. What is the biggest difference in transitioning from an individual contributor level to leadership VP level?
Yes, that's a really good. Oh, okay, the people out here giving me gems. I think the biggest is perspective, right? When I started my career, I had one project and I had one job, and that was it, right? I had to make sure that we create this experience and go. And when you're in a higher position, in a position of management, of lead, you have to broaden up your perspective and understand that it's not just what you want. It's also what the other team needs and wants, what the other team needs and needs, what each person needs, and not just in a project, but how to deal with people. Because at the majority of time, when you're in a junior level or in an entry level position, you don't have to deal with that many people. You might just design and ship it to the developers, and you might have an interaction with them. But when you're in a lead position, you have to interact with so many people. And thankfully, I had the experience of working in the service industry, where you get everybody of every kind. So it gave me the ability to be a lot tolerant, patient, which I don't have that much. You can ask my boyfriend. Gave me the ability to make sure that I was able to translate my ideas in as many ways as possible, because one way is not going to be the way that everybody's going to understand it, because not everybody has the same needs. So you have to just understand that your circle has grown, and that there are so many other people that you have to integrate within that circle. And so you have to become more moldable, more fluid.
Yes.
And I think the most important part is that you stop having free time, and your lunches just become very minimal, and you start realizing that it takes so much to make one thing live, and so you start appreciating technology just that much more. So if you want to get into the lead position, if you want to get into the next level of management or whatever, just make sure that in the work that you do, you start seeing the perspective of other people, and you start showing your manager that you understand that you have to broaden that perspective, that you have to bring people in, that all the steps that it takes to ship something out, because you're going to have to interact with every single person. And so demonstrating that you have that understanding will give you the job more than anything else, to be honest.
Thank you for that. Flip your perspective, my people. Flip your perspective. I'm gonna keep that one short. So we have 2 more questions real quick, but thank you for being so open and sharing everything with us. We have, let's see, outside of optimism / confidence, what or who helped you make your career transition?
Let's see. Well, thank you for that confidence, both. If you don't believe in yourself, then who else is going to believe in you, right? Mm-hmm. My brother, his name is Roque Silva. You can find him in LinkedIn too. He's a principal UX designer. He worked at Google, Facebook, Capital One right now. He is the GOAT, okay? And my brother was the person that said, you might not know about UX design. He kept it real. He was like, you're not very skilled in this UX design life, but you understand people and you know how to converse with people, and you have that ability to be a people's person, and that's what someone in a management position needs. So go at it. Now, I know that a lot of people are not that lucky to have people in their surroundings that believe in them that way. So I can say, if you don't have a brother or a family member that pushes you, or a friend that says, hey, even if you don't gotta go for it, you have a network of people that believe in you, and I believe in you. That even matters. There's a lot of people out there who want to see you succeed. uh, even if you don't see it, in a text, the energy is there. But it was my brother. I would love to say it was a mentor. I would love to say it was a manager. um, but I mean, managers did give me the opportunity to showcase my abilities. But the person who believed in me from the beginning was my brother.
Exactly. It's going to come in different forms. It comes in your brother, it could come in a manager, but guys, it'll come at the end of the day. And just know that you have, Laura right there who's saying she's right there for you. We're right here for you. And you have a huge network for just showing up today that believes in you and that is willing to guide you through maybe our individual LinkedIn's and Instagrams or personal conversations to get you to that next step. So you guys have a friend in us, in the name of Toy Story. So our last question right now is going to be, how do you deal with failure?
How do I deal with failure? Well, ice cream works very well. Wine works very well. But I think the biggest thing that I use is I see no's or closed doors not as obstacles, but as propellers to just keep on going further. I see people who doubt me, not as a way for me to demonstrate them that they're wrong, but to demonstrate myself that they are wrong. I have gotten a lot of doors closed, and a lot of people who have not believed in me because they equate my accent with my intellect, or they diminish me because of my age or my gender or my ethnicity. But at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, you know what? Thank you, because you're just giving me yet another push. It's like, okay, you didn't want it. I'm gonna show you what you miss out on, and let me go to the next level. And yes, sometimes that comes from a level of confidence in yourself that I just, as a Black woman, I had to create myself, for myself. I had to build this thick skin, to make sure to be in the spaces where not the majority of people do not look like me. But I think that that's kind of like the power that you have within yourself, is to make sure that you don't take it too personal. The majority of time when people doubt you is because they are seeing their failures and their fears reflected in yourself. And so don't let anyone bring you down because they're down. Like, don't get down to their level. If you're aspiring to go up, why are you looking down? It just makes no sense. So I've used them, all the no's and all the closed doors, for ways, to me to just revamp myself, for a glow up, for a new city, for a new company. Times where I wanted a promotion, I didn't get it, but then I jumped to another company where I got double that promotion because I knew that I had it, even when other people didn't even see it. So I think the theme of my conversation is that you have to believe in yourself, because you are the most important person. You are the main character of your story, and you have, yes, the realms to your life. And if you don't go for it, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't pick yourself up, nobody else is going to do it. So just, put, and for the women, you could wear the pants without losing your heels. You could be a badass woman and still be, this feminine person and this jerky person. Just go at it. Don't let nobody tell you no, and believe in it. It doesn't even make sense.
Absolutely love that. So guys, a lot of ice cream. a lot of wine, but but on a serious note, just believe in yourself, because in real life, guys, all you have to do is walk in your purpose and don't stop walking. But in order to keep walking, you have to believe that you can make the next step. And Laura is living proof that if you continue to make the next step and make the next step, those no's are not right now, or those no's are better left alone because they weren't for you in the first place. So believe in your vision, continue to walk in your path, and you will always make it to the next step. Thank you so much, Laura. You were amazing. I feel driven. I'm ready to, get back into my grind. I guess I'm grinding right now, but thank you so much. And we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Network. Use your LinkedIn. Network. Use opportunities like that, because you don't know who you're going to impact with your story, and you don't know what doors you're opening right there at this moment. So network, and donate. So thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much for taking your time out, and stay blessed. Keep shining.
Bye, guys. Good luck. Stay safe. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask. We inside.
Wear a mask.
Okay.